Also, I just realized I couldn't be heard, but yeah. Today's my birthday, and I'm celebrating with some Mario 3. I probably won't go all the way through, but I just figured it'd be fun to do. Yes, yes it is. I mean, if you want to join in, that's fine. So you think I would just have to... I mean, I would need to do two-player mode anyway, but, you know... You know, I think I'm going to go ahead and join the general chat. In case anyone wants to be in on that.
Hello.
Hello.
Just need to set everything up and yeah. It does look like I'm echoing. I am showing up on your stream.
Yep.
Alright, are you there?
Yeah. Oh, hold on, I might have... Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can.
Alright.
What's your password?
Just 111. I don't even know why I said one. But yeah.
Joining! Hooray!
Alright.
Special stream of guest star Brenton Kage.
Alright. Two-player game.
I love Mario 3. I think it actually... I can't decide whether Mario 3 or Super Mario World is my favorite. What about you?
Well, for me, it's Mario 3 just because, well, it's kind of been the one that's been with me since I was a kid. Oh, heck, there's some lag. Oh. But yeah, like, it's a thing of, for while I was growing up, my brother basically had the Super Nintendo. I mean, he bought it and all that, so it's understandable, but pretty much what wound up happening is, like, I could play the original Nintendo, but the Super was his for a while, so Mario 3 was what I wound up growing up with.
I remember when I was a kid, I actually saw The Wizard. And that is my first introduction to Mario. I love the power glove. It's so bad. I'm definitely feeling the lag. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Well, there's too much trouble. I'll stop this and you can go on your own. Because there's nothing worse than a laggy platform.
And it's like, and if nothing else, this is just meant to be a casual stream, so it's no biggie.
Now, if I recall, if I wait a moment...
Oh yeah, that's right. You can do that with all of the white platform blocks. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta anticipate that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave.
Alright.
I will, however, stick around for the chat if you guys. Yeah.
Alright. Well, in the meantime then, I'm gonna real quickly reset.
Yeah, you should do that.
There we go.
If there's gonna be lag, that's just gonna ruin all the fun.
I appreciate that care.
Mario 3. I think the graphics still hold up. A nice, bright, colorful thing. And it looks like a stage. You know that theory. That's the whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah, I hear that. That's meant to look like a play.
I'm willing to believe that theory. There is just way too much evidence for that. And it also makes me chuckle and try to think, what are the Mario Brothers and Bowser and Peach like outside of the games? I mean, they keep playing go-karts together, so it must be cordial.
Mm-hmm. Gotta figure that go-karting means there's some friendliness.
Yeah, I mean, they keep inviting the big guy to play sports, so... So it seems kind of unfair to have that guy in anything involving muscle. I mean... Could you imagine there was a football game, as in, you know, NFL one? There's no way you could stop him! The perfect defense or quarterback. No, wait, linebacker. That's what I'm thinking. So, it's your birthday, huh? If I knew it was your birthday, I would have got you something.
Ah, it's fine. You don't need to do that, dude.
So, what are you? 30, 31?
31.
Ugh. God, I feel old. Just think that this game is like, what, 30-something years.
Yeah, the copyright said 1988.
This thing is still good.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things where, obviously there's some games that don't, you can tell that they have their cracks, their wrinkles showing, but this is one of those, you know, evergreen platformers. Like, sure.
The only issue, I think, is the graphics, and that just gets improved if you play the Super Nintendo version. And there you go. That's just the process.
And it's like, yeah, you could say something about how, oh, it doesn't have a good save system, but I mean, when you have save states from the emulation, that kind of covers that.
Yeah, that's really it. There's maybe a bit of jank because it's a NES platformer, so there's always that bit of stiffness that comes with that territory, but hey, it's the third game, great outing, it's a seminal classic.
Yeah.
It's still debated which is better, World or 3. But it's always those two.
It really shows that by this time they knew how to tease the performance they needed out of the hardware.
I also love how we both remember all these secrets.
It's just like built in by this point.
Exactly. Oh, and there it is! Oh, classic. This is one good way to spend a birthday. Playing a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot. I bet that mushroom went the other way.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Mario enemy? I always like those Koopa Troopas. Plus, I like that name, Koopa Troopa. Rolled off nicely.
Well, let me think.
toot of this whistle will send you to a faraway land. It's a me, Toad!
When I think about it, I think my favorite Mario enemy is a toss-up between... I think it's a toss-up between Chain Chomp and Birdo.
Ah, those classics. I remember when I once rented Super Mario 64 and I first saw that Chain Chomp. I was just like, nope! Nope!
I think some of it is like kind of a matter of like, yeah, Chain Chomp is kind of a pretty scary enemy, but I think part of it is that like I can almost kind of see where his influence is from, and it's so easy to think of him as just being like a big old dog.
Much better if we could see that side of the Chain Chomp. Like, we don't see him as aggressive, we actually see him friendly.
Yeah, like...
I don't know, tickling Mario to lick his face.
Yeah, because, like, in a sense we have seen that with, like, the cameo that was in, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, but, you know, it'd be cool to see that, you know, full on in Mario.
Yeah, exactly. And Birdo, early on, you know, the original Birdo, just another enemy. It wasn't until later when she started getting her personality.
Like, I think for me, part of it is that it did kind of start out as, like, what's with this weird pink thing that spits out eggs? That's weird.
Yeah, like, what kind of drugs were they on when they designed that enemy?
But it's like, over time, like, she really is kind of this thing of, she's kind of bizarre and interesting, kind of precisely because of that. Like, she is a fairly unique character in that sense.
Yeah. I like the Koopa Troopas because of how much mileage they get out of them, especially in the Paper Mario and the Paper Mario series. Of all the different styles, how they fight, or just characters. They really do a good job with them. And of course, I love the Ninja Brothers. Those...
Oh yeah, from the... I remember them in the first Paper Mario.
Exactly.
Yes, I think they were straight up called the Koopa Brothers, and it was kind of, you know, the funny thing of, yes, the Koopa Brothers, we are legally distinct from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, from what I can tell, in the Japanese version, they were basically a parody of Sentai, but for the localization, they decided to go with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Koopas or something like that. To basically, you know, parody that, because that would have translated better. It's harder to go with, like, they don't look like Power Rangers, so it wouldn't work. Whereas, of course, with Sentai, it's a lot more accessible in Japanese.
Yeah. Because it's like, yeah, even though by then we would have had stuff like Power Rangers, it isn't quite as ingrained as, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, now could you imagine... Here's my question. If piranha plants are real, would they be considered flowers or like weeds? Like, how would you deal with them? And would you call a gardener or an exterminator if you had to get rid of them?
I guess, yeah, yes, I mean, I guess you would call someone with a flamethrower.
Mac wants the flamethrower? Mac wants the flamethrower!
Man, I feel so weird sometimes that, like, I'll have the hardest time trying to recall a little thing, and, like, I'll be here and just like, oh yeah, there's a random note block that you can pop out of the middle of nowhere.
I know, there's still secrets that are like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, or I didn't know about that.
Well, I guess it's a thing of, like, I do know about it, it's just, I don't know why I remember that, like, it's so ingrained that I just automatically go for it without thinking, and yet there's other stuff I straight to remember.
It's like a muscle memory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, here's the thing I don't get. Okay, I understand why the Tanuki suit turns you into a statue. What I don't get is why the raccoon tail makes you fly.
Magic?
Yeah, at least with the cape feather, you know, you got Superman. I mean, you basically can think of that.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is that, in some Legend of Tanukis, with their balls, they basically helicopter them, and that's how they fly. That's like the only connection I could think of, and if that's what they're referencing, good on you, Nintendo, because that is hilarious, let's face it.
Yeah.
That's how Tanukis assert dominance. And again, Japanese stories do tend to have that perverted air of hilarity. So, what you drinking?
Hold on a second. Okay. It's, basically it's an orange cream soda. Sprecher is the brand.
I always do like to occasionally get one of them glass bottle sodas. I don't know, they taste a little better, and usually it's also how you can get a beer flavor you don't see often.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about fire flower.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, I always remember that's something that I always try to break up the blocks to see if there's a power-up.
Nice. Here's a box! Its contents will help you on your way. Okay, if it will help you, why don't you give us all 3 so we can save your ruler? Or do you not want to save Princess Peach?
Yeah, maybe they need some for themselves. The king is a doggo. But that's wonderful.
Yeah, like, I feel like this is the one king who's like, you know what, I'm okay with this. I get a lot of head pats and people don't expect too much of me. Yeah, the one who got, like, turned into, like, a snake or a spider or a frog, be like, you know what, I get that. But you're a doggo. Yeah, life ain't that bad.
It's interesting because I know they did some changes in the All-Star version, the Super Nintendo version, and it was kind of funny to see that I think one was like one of the snakes from Mario 2, and I think one of them turned into a Yoshi.
Yeah, I remember the snake. I don't remember the Yoshi, but then again, I did tend to skip a lot of levels with the warp whistle, which I do remember I learned because of the wizard.
I never actually saw the wizard myself. Like, I know I've seen like reviews and all that other stuff with it, but I've never actually seen it.
It's not a very good movie, but it's got some 90s charm, and, well, it did give us a couple of memes. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Did actually give some pretty good advice for Mario 3.
I mean, it was pretty much a preview and like early, like not complete strategy guide, but yeah, they had all that stuff with it.
If you see any ghosts, be careful. They'll give you a chase. Turn away. Yeah. And see, here's an example of Peach being a bit proactive. She's sending you equipment to help you because, you know, you can use it.
Yeah. Like yeah, this is kind of an interesting game in that sense of, Peach is not a damsel in distress until, like, the very final level. Or world, I guess, would be a better way to put it, but yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, you could just chalk it up to, like, if you could see, she's probably sneaking around, stealing supplies, and figuring out ways to deliver messages to Mario. And then, in the end, Bowser catches up and goes. Well, it's only a matter of time before he gets off his throne. And he's like, better check up on Peach. Yeah, I should check up on her. You know, in case she's trying to send equipment to Mario.
Oh, hey, I got a thing.
Nice. So do you prefer Italian Mario or Brooklyn Mario?
I think for me, Italian Mario has settled in as like that's how I always think of him speaking. Though there is certainly a charm to seeing the Brooklyn accent Mario in those old cartoons.
Yeah. I think it also helped. It kind of gives him a little more attitude. I mean, because nowadays Mario's just kind of there, whereas Luigi is the one who has all that personality.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the unfortunate side effect of I think it's part of that whole thing of trying to make Mario as much of a everyman, unoffending type character as possible, which I respect them for wanting to do, but it's unfortunate that, yeah, it kind of winds up being Luigi who's the interesting one.
Yeah. That's kind of why I like the Brooklyn one, because he's still got the whole everyman thing, because, yeah, he's a plumber from Brooklyn. You can't get in any more everyman than a guy who does blue-collar work. And of course, hey, if not for that, we wouldn't have gotten Lou Albano to play him.
That is true.
Yeah. Pretty damn awesome.
If you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
I love that line. I feel like you were supposed to be, you'll die and then you'll go to hell, but he kind of mixed them up and they just sort of kept it in because it sounded more awesome.
Yeah, it's just glorious enough to keep.
Exactly. That's why, honestly, I think this. I watched a bit of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and it's a bad show, but it's so bad it's good. Yeah, I just kind of. It's like one of those. It's like watching a train wreck.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you can tell like it was such a merchandising thing to go for. Like,
yeah,
you can kind of tell like. They're like, alright, we got this new thing that's popular with the kids, throw something together.
Exactly, like, they got the names, they got enemy names, and just somewhat close to designs. Like, there's actually a lot more effort than it looks. The problem is, it was made by Deke, which... apparently, in a lot of the industry, Deke stood for done-in-cheapness. Which a lot of their shows were pretty cheaply done and pretty bad.
Yeah, it's...
Now, the Legend of Zelda cartoon, if you, in my opinion, it's bad in the boring sense.
Oh, except for the whole "excuse me, princess" thing, but yeah, it's...
Yeah, outside of Link being a total tool and Zelda actually being proactive, it's not a very good show. Not even Ganon is that entertaining outside of that one scene of him, teleporting in place for no reason. He's definitely no Skeletor.
Yeah, I think that what happened with that is that, in terms of the cosmic balance of things, what happened is that the Philips CDI Zelda games got all of the cheese.
Honestly, yeah. The Zelda CDI actually kind of feels like what would have happened if the Zelda cartoon was done by the same writers as the Super Show. Yeah. Like, they went with that same cracked out style.
And definitely very, very, very heavily more on the wacky cartoon side of things.
And you know what? I would have been okay with that, because at least entertaining bad is still entertaining.
Yeah.
Whereas boring bad is just... ugh. I think it's more frustrating.
Yeah, there's something to be said for how much energy gets sapped out of you from the feeling of, yeah, someone did this for a paycheck.
And I feel like I just wasted my time. Whereas with the Mario show, I'm like, that was stupid, but holy shit, did you see what happened?
Yeah, because that's a case of, yeah, sure, someone did that for a paycheck, but you at least get the feeling they had some fun doing it.
Or at the very least, something weird was going on in that office, and you kind of want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of bad I like. And the 90s do tend to have a lot more of those so bad it's good. And oh my god, what is happening there? Huh. Kids, don't do drugs. Huh. So this is what hell is like. Well, I guess he did do drugs. He went to hell before he died.
Let's see if I can thread this needle.
90s did have some pretty good stuff. You ever heard of the extreme dinosaurs?
That vaguely exists somewhere in the back of my mind of weird 90s stuff.
Yeah. I rewatched a couple episodes and I thought, yeah, this was bad, but this was self-aware bad. Like, this was at a time when everybody was trying to make rip-offs of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or at least capitalize on it. You know, anthropomorphized animal teams. You know, stuff like the Cowboys of Moo Mesa, for instance, which is another show that's surprisingly good. Which, by the way, the Extreme Dinosaurs was actually a spin-off of Street Sharks. Yeah, so you got a spin-off from a rip-off.
Ah.
Oh yeah, the sun is all pissed off at you. Why? What did Mario do to piss off the sun?
An excellent question.
Like, what? Or better yet, how did Bowser recruit the sun? Like, did Kamek have something to do with this?
I mean, maybe. Kamek does a lot of magic stuff.
If you kill the sun, does that mean you turn the planet into an eternal ice age?
I mean, considering the sky is still blue afterwards, I can assume maybe assume this is like a fake sun or something.
This is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Because that actually happened in Stardust Crusader, where they fought a Stan who literally was like a sun. And that was his thing. He was just to overheat everybody. The problem is, it also affected his user. So his user basically had to hide out while letting them, you know, fry. Then again, that's not the weirdest stand. I think one of the weirdest stands would have to be... Well, the weirdest stand user is definitely the orangutan, whose stand is a ghost ship. An orangutan who reads porn.
That is weird.
Well, it's not called a Bizarre Adventure for nothing.
Now imagine that spinoff. JoJo's pretty average jaunt.
That was probably... You know, that was probably Jotaro's father. Because apparently Jotaro's father is a musician in America. I think that's the backstory. We never do see him. He is having a chill adventure. Maybe he's fighting his own enemies that we just didn't know. With his stand being called, I don't know, Elton John. Really would enjoy JoJo's because just a lot of the absurdity and some pretty good fights and so on.
I've considered checking it out. It's just kind of one of those things that it's like, I see how many frickin' arcs there are to it.
Just do it one at a time, at the very least. Yeah, check out the first one at least because, hey, it's basically Castlevania.
That reminds me, I need to, like, get around to finishing off the Castlevania anime.
And I need to actually watch that.
Like, I finished off the first season. It's a pretty fun one.
It's just one of those things where it's like, Netflix anime.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, because of the whole thing of, like, technically speaking, I don't think of that series as being anime. It's just an anime-style thing, a production. But at the same time, it's like, it's clearly meant for the same audience to go for anime, so I've kind of given up that fight to a degree.
At least the Gretsuko was good. It's still surreal that a show that feels way too real, down to earth, was also made by some people who made Hello Kitty.
Yeah, it's cute enough for it.
Cute. Then she's dealing with real world problems. Not enough money, problems of her love life, a guy who wants to get her killed, wants to kill her for stupid reasons. I'm not even making that up. Third season is what the fuck.
Okay.
And let me guess, we have Argyle!
Hey there, I just finished up Pathfinder and saw you on chat, so I'm like, hey.
And guess what? He's streaming Mario!
Say hello to the audience of yourself.
Huzzah!
So, how was your game?
Good.
Any crazy shenanigans as usual?
No, we just managed to talk down a crazy, well, no, I won't say crazy, a very overzealous, duty-bound follower of Pharasma who wanted us dead because we were kind of technically undead in a way.
You came back in an improper way, basically. Because if I recall, Pharasma isn't against proper resurrection spells, because even she's like, yeah, sometimes you gotta bring heroes back, but you gotta do it in a proper way. You can't
the way it works with Pharasma is it's like she knows who will be targeted with a resurrection spell, so therefore she kind of like keeps them off to the side. But like, say, trying to resurrect someone that's been dead for like, you know, longer than what would be considered a typical waiting period, that's when she would start to be like, yeah, no, they've already been judged and...
Their souls at peace, let them rest.
Yeah.
Those fire troopers.
Yeah.
They're assholes.
Oh, well, Fire Brothers, but yeah. And I would say it's D&D and Pathfinder and all that. Tabletop games are... I love them because phrases like that will come up. It's like, because we're technically undead?
You're not dead, you're mostly dead. There is a difference.
Essentially what happened was, the party got hit like at the very start of the adventure. I feel like Paizo could have done this first book a bit better because there really was no reason to sort of make us feel attached to the place that got bombed. Like they could have given us like maybe the first chapter of the book, sort of like doing some minor tasks for the town to get attached to them. But essentially, yeah, we wake up, find out that the town that we're staying in has been eradicated in an instant. But for some reason, we are alive, even though we got sent to the boneyard. So it's like,
definitely doesn't. Yeah, waking up and being like, "Oh, I'm dead" when you're starting a new campaign, that doesn't really work.
again, it's not that you're dead; it's that you're like, basically the magic that basically destroyed the town. Kind of stitched an artifact to our souls.
Oh, have fun.
Man, don't you just hate that when someone stitches an artifact to your soul?
It's like, because it's basically like a shard.
That makes you itchy. Because he can't scratch your soul. And when your soul is... You know what? Just kill me. And then when you get to the afterlife, it's still itchy. And then you realize, I'm in hell! I guess I should have taken all those drugs.
See, in this one, I guess is a spider?
Dude, I think it's supposed to be a bagworm.
That would make a little more sense.
Yeah, because bagworms are definitely a lot more common in Japan.
I mean, spiders are common everywhere.
I know, but...
I mean, the point is, this is a Japanese production.
Yeah. It's probably more to do with, spiders probably aren't as... Because, like, I mean, you've got to think, Japan has a freaking, like, at least 2 different spider demons. The Juragumo and, I can't remember what the other one's called, but it's like a spider with a bull head.
Spider with a bull.
That's funky. And what fucking makes that kind of yokai?
Rushioni?
I think it might have been Rushioni. But, yeah. And, God, some of the yokai in Japan are crazy.
Yep,
like, I think... Yeah.
Right, it is an ox demon that is basically the body of a spider, but the head of an ox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember because one of the Yu-Gi-Oh monsters is Ushioni, and in the anime, Yusei dueled a guy in the prison, and he basically summoned a giant Ushioni, which was like the spider demon one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who says card games can't teach you stuff?
They teach you how to play card games.
And hopefully on motorcycles.
Stupid mushroom.
Speaking of Oni, I'm fighting one right now.
Monster Hunter?
Yeah. In Monster Hunter Rise, a lot of the monsters are designed, or at least a lot of the newer monsters are designed around, like, yokai.
Makes sense. Like, from what I saw in the trailer, it has an exceptionally kind of Japanese aesthetic, doesn't it?
Yeah. been a
No.
while since I played Mario 3.
It's been a while since I played it as well. It's nice to go back to once in a while, though. I'm also thinking with this with this situation, I'm thinking, yes, save King, still small.
Mad because small.
Oh.
Now I'm just thinking of that old YouTube short, Mario's pissed off. Pissed off Mario.
I think I vaguely remember that from like some of the old Flash era Newgrounds style stuff. Yeah.
I remember from the old Flash era, Mario bloopers.
Remember a frickin' it was like the Matrix, I think it was like the Matrix 3 or whatever, whichever one that was, Reloaded, whatever. But it was, like, Mario Brothers. So it had basically Mario as Neo. God, the good old days of Newgrounds.
Yeah.
Come around, children, let me tell you about the days of Flash.
I mean, Newgrounds is still around. In fact, it's kind of a porn site now.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah.
But then again, let's face it, where else could you go and get porn cartoons back then?
Places.
And now?
I mean, nowadays, thank God, we live in a time when we have inspired and motivated Rule 34 artists.
Yeah.
It also helps that Patreon. Patreon and college.
Yes, you know, if I'm to say anything about the current state of affairs of internet and content creators, God bless Patreon.
Yeah. There's a lot of issues with Patreon, for real, but the whole idea of, hey, you can actually directly pay these guys to do their passion projects and stuff.
Yeah, which is excuse me. Which is good because you got stuff like how YouTube is not being very good about helping out its content creators.
Yeah, there's a reason why people had to sign their souls away to machinima. Or other, YouTube, partner programs just to survive.
Which is sad also just because, like, I'll keep hearing stories about people who say they signed up to a YouTube network and basically wound up being, screwed over.
Those, like, YouTube channels, network channels, are basically a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
It really is, and the thing is that you don't know any better when you're starting out because you're desperate. And then they promise you the world, and it's easy to be like, yeah, we'll keep you safe, we'll have enough copyright issues and stuff, and it's like, yeah, they'll do that. They'll take so much of your money, you might as well not even bother.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, well, gosh golly, mister, you helped me out. How much will it cost? What do you got?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. When you're a little guy, it sucks. I was able to get out of it, but it took a year and a half, where it was like, literally, I'm like, you know what, I want to be out of the contract. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't be out of the contract because you didn't do it at a certain time. So I basically had to wait another year to be like, yeah, I want out. And I even forwarded them the other email being like, this is when I could do it, so they couldn't bullshit their way out of it. Didn't even have to go with the whole, do I need to get my lawyer?
Ugh.
I think they probably let me go because they knew my channel was so small it wasn't even worth it. That's why they only making like a couple of bucks anyway.
And it's kind of ridiculous when you hear how it's like there's like some smaller channels with like I heard the whole thing about some short form content people would only make like $1 every 1,000 views or something.
Oh my god, yeah.
Man, I'm pretty good at video games. Yeah. Frog Mario.
So, I'll say this. While I'm kind of retired from YouTubing, at least I'm writing for another YouTuber who's doing a lot better than me.
Like, it's been pretty neat seeing you putting some of that stuff together. You're like, legit.
Yeah. He actually says that because of me, his viewer count went up, he loves my creativity, and yeah. I mean, yeah, I gotta take things seriously, but I got enough creative freedom and leeway that I can do whenever I want what I want. Well, within reason. Now we're working on some YouTube shorts. I'm basically recreating a couple of famous memes.
Unga Bunga Smash!
No. You got it all wrong, Argle. What you should be saying is, Captain Caveman!
It's just the hammer has this move where you basically launch yourself up in the air and then you just do this huge, but it's called the impact crater. And it is such a fun move. And the monster was asleep, so I'm like, yeah, this is the perfect time.
That sounds like Captain Caveman's attack.
Ding ding, this is your wake-up call.
And you say that, and the funny thing is, the hammer I'm using is basically a bone hammer, so...
Very fitting! I mean, hell, I always wanted to make a barbarian whose battle I wanted to recreate Captain Caveman! But then I realized that would get really old really fast if I had to keep crying out Captain Caveman as a battle cry. As hilarious as it would be.
Yeah, and despite the hammer, the set I'm actually using is actually pretty stylish. It's like a frickin' almost like a wedding dress corset with a mini skirt and a pair of bloody heeled boots.
Yeah. Nice.
Respectable.
Monster Hunter. Dress Hunter.
Well, fashion hunter, you mean?
Fashion Hunter, yes. But let me address that. We need more clothing, and we definitely need more that glamour ability.
Yeah, there's a live stream soon showing what they're adding in the new update, so hopefully we'll get information on them actually adding more layered armor, because that's basically what their transmog system's called.
I like layered armor.
Because
it's like
cool to be able to personalize.
Yeah, they've got the system for layered armor stuff. Obviously, like, because there's 2 layered armors that you can get at the moment from, one is like pre-order bonus, the other is, actually I think they're both kind of pre-order bonus.
Games I'm gonna need to play. Looking back into Atelier. And there are so many of the games I have to get through. I think there's like, okay, there's like the Dust trilogy, then the Mystery trilogy, then there's another one for Garland. started as a trilogy, and now there's like it's the quad trilogy.
A trilogy in
Well,
5 parts.
7 fucking games ahead of me.
Yeah.
At least I'm not gonna be bored.
God, actually, I just realized, like, next month is gonna be quite busy for gaming. I mean, it typically tends to be.
Let's see, we got the new Pokemon Snap. Finally,
Yeah.
a revival of that. It's been how long?
Like 20 years.
Yeah.
I remember when I go to Blockbuster and get the stickers.
And the funny thing is, they got that whole thing of, like, you can buy that frickin' printer that hooks up to your smartphone to print them off. Complete with a Pikachu shell.
My god. 90s all over again.
Though I would say, if they want to be super hardcore, I want a wireless receiver for my Game Boy camera.
Bring that back in style.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's going to be, again, like, at least 2 more Monster Hunter updates to actually finish the final third of the game. We don't actually have the final boss yet.
What?
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure this game got pretty, hit pretty hard due to COVID delays and whatnot. So it shipped without the final boss. Yet it doesn't really feel that way.
Okay, so it's complete enough that it's not obviously bad that it's final boss. Like, it's annoying, but given the shit that happened last year, the fact that it came out at all at a time matter is impressive.
Yeah.
Normally I wouldn't call it an excuse, but a literal pandemic is one of the few good excuses for a rush.
I mean, the way it works is, so, like, the story introduces, like, you fight this one new Elder Dragon, and then it introduces, like, the second Elder Dragon connected to it, and then when you defeat that Elder Dragon, then it's sort of like, you see it sort of disappear, and then, it's like, okay, yes, we've defeated the, Elder Dragon. But then there's, like, essentially an after-credits scene where it's like one of the characters, or 2 of the characters, are basically channeling the 2 Elder Dragons, and they're talking about something even bigger coming.
Which in a sense almost kind of feels like it would be sequel baiting if you didn't know better.
Yeah.
Or DLC or extended or G mode, G rank mode,
Master mode now. Yeah.
master mode.
Or master rank, I should say.
Whatever. We know we call it G rank because that's how it always was.
Yeah. But yeah, it's certainly far too early for it there to be master rank. And master rank, like G rank stuff, usually has its own sort of separate story.
Yeah. Another game I really do need to get around to playing, but I'm just not in the mood for an action game. I'm just more in the mood for an RPG. And yes, well, would you consider Monster Hunter an RPG in a sense?
I mean, yeah.
Like, I would say, if anything, it's, from what I've seen, it's more like a action game with RPG elements. Would that probably be fair to say?
Yeah, because it's like the stats are all based on your gear.
That is true.
If anything, I would basically call it it's an action RPG similar to, like, I know some people would probably call Heresy, but I'm like, it's basically a Diablo style action RPG.
Yeah, it's like,
See that?
yeah, I suppose, like, it's kind of like a loot and find
Yeah.
stuff type game, so yeah.
Yeah.
Except instead of it's basically a looter, an action looter game. but instead of having like smaller monsters, it's all just bosses.
It's the boss rush, the game. Yeah, it's one of those games where it's like, oh yeah, I want to get around to playing it, but it's just, yeah, I can't do action at the moment.
Yeah, then of course we've got Final Fantasy Fan Fest.
I never, what's that?
They're going to be showing off more stuff for the next expansion, and maybe even Final Fantasy 16.
I can't believe we're making it to 16.
Yeah.
It's been a long road.
I know. So I presume you saw Bro Jared tearing into 8.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
as much as I love 8, yeah, he's pretty much right.
That's seem to get from Final Fantasy people like Final Fantasy VIII. They're like, yeah, we know it's got problems, but we don't care.
It's our child. It's like you love your child who can't stop eating glue. He really should stop. He's going to have problems. God damn it, I love him.
It's kind of a thing of like, I can get why though, because it's as wonky as it is in many ways. It has some very interesting ideas.
Yeah, it's got a good concept on paper. I mean, I like the whole idea that we're an academy of mercenaries. I think did more with that. Like we went on more merc missions before the whole, end of the world thing. That would have been a lot more interesting. With the rising states.
And there's stuff like,
Can't deny the fact the mechanics of junction system and whatnot. On paper, but just like the mechanics of Final Fantasy 2, definitely could use a rework.
yeah, like, and there's stuff like the junctioning system that's like, it's a very interesting idea, but it's kind of one of those things that unfortunately you could see it being the sort of thing that really tugs at the player instinct to hoard.
And it basically negates one major part of Final Fantasy, the magic system.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah, I remember when I did play through Final Fantasy VIII, I pretty much did a no magic run because again I was just like, I didn't want to lower my stats.
Kinda is one of the worst protagonists. I mean, it's funny to have this guy who pretty much doesn't give a damn being forced to into these things, but they don't really do much with that, do they?
And it's just like speedrunners say that the fastest route for Final Fantasy VIII is to play Squall as he's intended, which is to be an asshole.
Exactly. Well, at least he's not Zell. I mean, I know who I am, but if I ever go into Zell level of territory, you have permission to virtually sack me.
I don't think you're that bad, Brian.
I mean, even my characters, at their most excitable, can be a little restrained at times. They don't go that far. Also, burgers are better than chili dogs. Fight me.
I don't know who's gonna argue with that.
Of course burgers are better.
Sonic fan?
Who cares what Sonic fans think?
They can't even decide. They can't even agree on what they like.
Exactly. So, spitting up spike balls. God, they must have indigestion from hell.
It's either that or they got, like, an opposite black hole in their stomach.
Yeah, they're reverse Kirby.
They actually kind of do look like Kirby.
Or it's like, frickin' like I've read before for, like, people that have created certain, like, Pathfinder or I guess, in this case, D&D characters, a Warforged with a bag of holding, attached inside their mouth.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
I remember that. It's just... you would fill those bugs by eating them. It worked out great. Also, I watched some more clips from Kirby Right Back at You. Antonio Banderas' Meta Knight is the best thing ever. And Wandu has a voice that does not fit.
Yeah, one of these days I do want to play a Warforged or an Android in Pathfinder, just so that way I can make the joke that when someone asks, "Can you give me a hand?" my character just takes their arm off and chucks that at them.
Recreate that scene from Toy Story.
Yes!
Ha! Ha! Exactly. No, I'm with you on that one, dude.
I'm thinking alternatively. I mean, okay, I guess most Warforged aren't designed for it, but I'm just thinking of the theme of the scene from Men in Tights. Ladies and gentlemen, lend me your ears. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I love a bad visual joke like that.
God, that movie is a classic though.
Yes. Yes, it is. That and Spaceballs.
God, I haven't seen either in so long. I should probably rewatch them again sometime. I rewatched The Princess Bride like not too long ago.
Yeah, there's a classically weird one.
And then all of a sudden one jumps them that you expected it to pause and be like, "We'll be right back."
But I
I loved Andre the Giant in that one. He was so good. Anybody want a peanut?
or even the thing of like, it's like it's doing nothing to you. It's like, why don't you do anything? I didn't want you to feel bad.
Saw that death.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You have killed my father. Prepare to die. And he just kept repeating it. He's just like, shut up! He imagined that entire scene. He wanted to keep saying that to him. He is going to keep saying it to him.
Yeah.
I would too.
Inconceivable! I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Yes. I think it means what you think it means. And remember, don't play any games with a Sicilian when death is on the line. That movie is just so quotable. I love it.
Yeah, I remember watching a video not too long ago where the fencing scene between bloody Dread Pirate, yeah, I can't remember his actual
Robert.
yeah, I just can't remember his other name, but yeah, that they actually do like reference fencing masters and apparently even do some of like the techniques and that, so it's like for a comedy movie they actually got like accurate freaking fencing techniques down.
And it's just like, huh, they went the extra mile.
It's nice when you have something like that where they put a little extra heart into it.
give us the gate key. I have no gate key. Fezzik, here his arms up. Oh, you mean this gate key? That is what it's called succeeding on an intimidation check.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, when you got freaking Andre the Giant in your retinue, many options open up.
So apparently it's like, you think like the way they made the movie was meant to be kind of like almost an abridged version of the book, but apparently the book is also written that way. It's written to look like it's an abridged version.
Yeah, because the idea is like the grandfather's editing as he reads, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna need to rewatch that because, god, good movie. Movie that has stood the test of time and it just gets better every year, doesn't it?
God, not to say that there's I mean there's some fairly good modern movies that probably will end up on that same level. Like Thor Ragnarok, that movie is comedy gold.
And else they went full on cheese with that.
Yeah.
Just trying to have fun.
I just love the big guy that played by the New Zealand actor. There's a scene where it's like Thor's talking to Loki, and Loki sort of disappears, and he just runs up. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, take that, you ghost."
Oh heck.
God, Big Bertha is just... Yeah, by the way, reminder, in the Super Mario Brothers movie, that big black lady they met, that was supposed to be
Yeah, that's Big Bertha. Yep. And I believe the rocket boots they had were supposed to be Karibo's shoes.
Honestly, it's one of those things where looking back, yeah, the movie's bad, but I got a good aesthetic.
Yeah. I'm intrigued with what Illumination's going to do, because it's like, with Illumination, it's like, even at its worst, it's probably just going to be a standard bloody popcorn movie. Like Illumination, yeah, Illumination movies never really stand out, but they're never really bad.
And I
They're just
figured
kind of there.
And I figure Nintendo's probably gonna be breathing over their neck to make sure that they don't do anything too offensive, so I have a feeling that it's gonna be one of those things where people are gonna look at it and they're gonna say, okay.
Yeah. With any luck, it will be as good as Despicable Me, and like I would certainly love to see freaking like Despicable Me has one of the best memes that just the folding flipping over the plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's one thing, this movie is definitely going to generate memes. Because if there's something about Illumination films, always make memes. So you know what? I'm okay with that. I mean, hell, look at Detective Pikachu in the Sonic movie. Originally, when we first looked at them, we're like, okay, they're gonna be movies, but we're not expecting too much. And they turned out better than expected.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people had more expectation for Detective Pikachu because it was, Pokemon and...
Sonic movie, it's just like, oh, this is gonna either be so bad it's good, or it's actually gonna be really good.
Especially after the initial CG.
Yeah, I still wonder if that initial CG was actually done on purpose to
Yeah,
try
that's
and.
my theory. My theory is that, yes, that was intentionally on purpose because they did it as a guerrilla marketing tactic. Because they knew the internet would meme on it. And that's how
Yeah.
it's got to be attention. And then people are going to be like, oh god, this is horrible. And then they come out as heroes and be like, you know what? We listened to your feedback, we're going to change it.
Yeah.
That was the intention. Because you gotta take into account that CG does take a while to make, so...
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money, so I'm thinking, yeah, they intentionally made all those trailers seem bad. That's my conspiracy theory. You know what? If that really is how it is, I'm like, good move. Hey, it was good. Although I can't unhear Dewey Duck every time I hear Sonic. Because it's the same actor. I just expect him to say, let's do this.
Yeah. So, God, tomorrow I might be going to see, again, it kind of depends if my brother actually invites me, because he says, that he's got a free day tomorrow, and he wants to go see Mortal Kombat, so I'm just like, does this mean I'm going to get invited?
A movie that came out of nowhere, a new Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's supposed to be good or bad.
Don't know.
Find out.
It was one of those things where it's like the last Mortal Kombat movie, Annihilation, was pretty bad.
Yeah, well, okay. So, Annihilation, yeah, it was bad. The original Mortal Kombat movie, it was still bad, but it was, like, enjoyably cheesy.
It's like the Street Fighter movie. You
Yeah.
expect it to be good. You want to jump.
And of course, that still gave us one of the greatest lines. The day that I came to your grandfather's village and changed his world. To me, it was Tuesday.
No, it was the most important day of
Yeah,
my
that's
life.
it. Yeah.
For me, it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, my favorite line is when they're looking at this footage, the camera footage, and this truck is coming down towards them. They're like, "What?" And Ziggy's like, "Chase channel."
Yeah.
You serious?
Yeah. And bison bucks or bison dollars or whatever it was.
I mean, the guy basically took the role for his kids, and I respect it.
I still find it funny that though. It doesn't make sense that they would then make Street Fighter the movie, the game, and instead of just using the normal Street Fighter engine, they somehow make it a bad game.
Oh, it's accurate to the source material.
Yeah. It's like all you had to do was just take the sprites, the freaking digitized sprites, put them on your Street Fighter 2 Turbo Championship Hate Ultra Champion, yeah.
No, Hyper Weeb Edition.
But actually, I think what happened was, they didn't actually have the actors long enough. They kind of surprised the actors with the fact that they were going to be making a game as well. So they had to hurriedly try and get some of the frames for their attack animations.
Because I think it wasn't even a case that some of the actors even left before they finished doing that process.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, this is the second Pikachu. Like, above and beyond. God, Ryan Reynolds is really good at that.
Yeah.
And also, that scene with Mr. Mime. Like, holy shit, I can still play with that. The whole, interrogation thing, I mean, yeah, it's full of silliness. But the fact that he basically parodied Pulp Fiction with freaking cats.
Because it's all, there's nothing there. It's just all implied.
Oh, they got away with that. Like, the censor's like, I should let them get away with this, but you can please see it.
There's no graphic imagery. There's no it's just to the kids. It's just Mr. Mime acting funny.
Yeah, exactly. But as an adult, they're like, holy shit! That is one of the best scenes ever. The fact they got away with that. The fact that this is canon. Pokemon approved this.
Yeah, I suppose, like, I guess you could technically say that it probably is canon to the anime-verse.
Maybe.
Because it's like, the Mewtwo is, I think it might have been in the game where it's implied that it is the same, like, that Mewtwo does mention that, like, Kanto or whatever. Because it's like, when it comes to the anime-verse, there is at least theorized that there are two Mewtwo's, because one of them is clearly male and the other one's clearly female.
Yeah, obviously Mew didn't evolve because...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean... Because usually I gender Mewtwo as male and Mew as female. Both as, like, polar opposites and, well,
Yeah.
the voice.
And it's kind of an unfortunate thing that is a repeatable thing, the whole genetic engineering thing.
Yeah. But, like, the female Mewtwo seems to have at least maybe been treated better, because from what if I recall, it's the Genesect movie that she shows up and helps, she mega evolves to help fight. Was it Genesect or was it?
I'm pretty sure it was Genesect.
Yeah. Because there's like a whole army of them.
You know what? I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna take a quick break.
Well, I've been enjoying the stream so far.
Yeah. I should probably get my lunch soon.
Believe that I actually got a job writing. If I told past me that I'd be writing for a more successful YouTuber, I wouldn't believe myself. Actually, I'd be more confused and ask, how the hell did you get time travel? And why didn't you go back in time and buy some basic Pokemon booster packs to sell on eBay in the future? Like,
Yeah. And then you call your future self an idiot, and then your future self.
Exactly.
But again, it's like it's the joke that your past self always your future self always hates your past self because you always put your problems off onto your future self.
Exactly. Well, that's a problem for future me, and then when I do have a problem, like, fuck you, past me.
God, that past me is such an asshole.
I know, right? Because of him, I'm fat. That's what I get for finding out about chocolate pudding dipped pizza. I actually did want to try that, but God, that was bad.
Actually, no. To be fair, there are dessert pizzas.
Yeah, exactly. But I literally dipped a cheese pizza in like a little container of chocolate pudding. It was like okay, I remember it was like.
Okay. Maybe there's a bit of a cultural divide here, but how do you dip something into pudding? Pudding is like frickin' got that cake-like.
No. American chocolate pudding. It's like a little container and it's like really smooth. It's like a mousse.
Okay then.
But almost like a sludge.
Yeah, like I guess we got something called yogurt. I mean not yogurt. Yogo is it's like a yogurt, chocolate yogurt sort of thing.
Describe it. It's kind of like yogurt. Except
Yeah.
chocolate.
Yeah.
I remember it was middle school, it was a pizza party, and, you know, I had my lunch with me, and of course I had a little can for chocolate pudding. Somebody dared me to dip a slice of cheese pizza into it and eat it, and you know what, being a little dumbass I was trying to impress people, well, I did it, and I was labeled more of an idiot pariah, because, the retard did it. Middle school.
Yeah. There's
Go back in time. Replay some of those times. Oh, things would be different.
I mean hell, if I could go back to like do high school all over again, I would just basically do it and like this time I would just basically ignore people like
Yeah, I would be able to. Like, I'd be able to.
yeah. Cause it's like my friend Maka, when he was in high school, like I knew him while he was still in high school, and he basically, I'm like, how do you deal with assholes like that? And he's just like, yeah, if they call me gay, I'm just like, yeah, sure, whatever. He's just completely nonchalant about it, so it's
Also,
as you said, it completely takes away. Ah, welcome back.
Hi.
Yeah. Just basically, it's like as if you just take away their freaking firepower, the
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm still a kid.
Yeah.
Asperger's, I'm still learning how to control my emotions, and people know how to get under my skin. Not to mention, the administration in Alaska ain't exactly good. In fact, there were times where I was blamed for it. Like, what if you didn't act so weird? Maybe you wouldn't get picked on. Like, they literally shifted the blame on me.
yeah.
Yeah, which is such a shitty thing to do.
Exactly. That is the bullshit. You know, we both get punished. Because at the very least, we both get punished.
Yeah, okay, you know what? That's another thing that is dumb, is the whole thing of like, if you get into, if someone picks on you and starts a fight with you, you get in trouble too.
Yeah, even if you just are defending yourself. You don't even swing a punch. You're just blocking. So, hey, you're in a fight. So, you must be at fault. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the zero tolerance policy kind of thing just made things worse. It's just like, well, if I'm gonna get in trouble anyway, I might as well go down swinging.
Exactly. If anything, they made physical altercations even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't lie. My childhood wasn't exactly that good. It wasn't until I moved to Idaho when I had a fresh start. Not to mention, I actually knew one of the football guys because their family, we were friends through Boy Scouts. And they moved down here first, and I basically went to the same school, so I kinda had an in for coolness. Though it definitely helped that nerd culture started becoming more of a thing, so I wasn't a complete pariah.
From what I understand about Idaho, all you need to do to fit in is talk about potatoes.
Nah, that and gems. We are technically the gem state. Yeah, I know we're known more for our potatoes, but we're the gem state. Look it up. Now, if I recall, there's a state vegetable is watermelon, and I can't remember which one it is.
Watermelon's
Yeah,
not
the
a...
state vegetable.
I don't like that. It's because like watermelon's a fruit.
Oklahoma's state vegetable is watermelon. Why?
I mean, like, part of the whole thing is like the concept of vegetables is kind of bullshit anyway.
Oh, okay, I see. Senator Don Farrington, responsible to the bill, said that watermelon comes from the cucumber and gourd family, which are classified as vegetables. Okay.
That.
Five up.
You know what? When you put it that way, it's kind of like tomato being both a fruit and a vegetable.
Which it isn't.
Like, because it's a whole thing of like vegetable is like for the classification of like sales. It's like it's an economic term.
Yeah. Alright, you know what? Fair enough.
It's like the whole thing from what last year or before, the whole like was it America or was it Ireland that had the whole Subway couldn't be classed as bread?
Yeah, I believe it was Ireland that did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, like the whole other thing I remember Food Theory doing about how like what is considered a sandwich, and it depends on like what department or organization you ask.
I linked something a while ago that was a complete like meme on that idea.
I do love Food Theory. I love seeing the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised he found something better than Diet Coke. Like, what?
And it was a store brand, no less.
Yeah.
One that wasn't even supposed to be on the list. He just like, okay, we need something to fill the last slot, and it's just, okay, we got this. Like, what? It's kind of clear he's trying not to do things for clicks anymore. Because
I mean, he still has to like I watched the his 10-year anniversary video, and he's like, yeah, they still make sure that thumbnails are made to appease the algorithm.
He has to appease the algorithm, but it's kind of clear that, you know, he's self-aware.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Again, just like as I said, there are times when I just wish that for some theories he'd at least acknowledge the fact that, you know, if magic exists in that world, you gotta take that sort of magic into consideration.
Yeah, it's kind of the unfortunate thing of he kind of has that issue sometimes with some of his episodes where it's not about a theory about how the universe works. He's trying to give us a science lesson and dressing it up with like video game stuff.
Yeah,
Wait,
like that's one thing I say when I do criticize, like when I do comment and like add criticism. I'm like I get what you're trying to do, but please at least
Acknowledge that this is magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think one of his most egregious cases was talking about God of War, and it's like, you know, God of War can basically destroy the world because she creates a black hole, and then the black hole goes out of control, and then it's, as like Loxton himself sort of pointed out, it's like, if she can create the black hole, she can uncreate the black hole. Yes.
And also, this is Pokemon, where the Dex also says that Flareon is literally hotter than the surface of the sun.
Yeah.
That cargo as well.
Yeah. Well, the Macago one actually is reasonable.
So here's what I got. I got this Yoplait Starburst lemon one. I'm gonna see if it tastes good.
I remember seeing a Brutal Moose do one of those Starburst yogurt things, and from what I understand, like, it was okay.
That's how I learned about the coffee and cola.
I haven't seen Brutal Moose in years. Like, I don't know. I just never really watched his sort of like food reviews. Like, he hasn't done like a video game review in a long time.
He's kind of relaxed in that sense.
Yeah.
He just kind of does whatever he feels like. And now as for the Starburst Yoplait.
Yeah. I don't keep up too much with his stuff, but it's like, every once in a while, like, I'll be clicking through, or I'll think of him, and it's like, oh yeah, he's still around, and it's kind of nice that he still exists.
Yeah.
There's something he does seem to do. He's always trying to do weird filming things. Like he'll dress up in costume, do weird effects. He's kind of being silly.
I really should also catch up on Catechurus. I haven't seen his stuff for a couple of years.
Hey, he's still doing good. He's
Yeah.
got a bit longer with some of his videos, but he's not bad.
Although now I'm remembering there was a time when he and Bruce had a rivalry. At least according to Kid Icarus.
I think that, again, that was one of those sort of joke things.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things they obviously played up for crossover.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Ant Dude, God, I'm blank. I almost said Alpha Rad, but it's not Alpha Rad, it's the other Rad.
Fuck, yeah.
Nitro Rad.
Nitro Rad, yeah. I was like, dude who likes, Rayman.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Nitro Rad, Ant Dude, and some call me Johnny sometimes. So they kind of.
I freaking love Nitro Rat stuff.
Yeah.
I love the fact that as a film, since he's a film student, he does talk about the kind of camera angles and other stuff. I like some of that technical stuff.
And, like, he's also a very positive person. Like, even when the game's bad, he'll, like, at least try and...
Yeah, like when he decided to that's actually why he decided to redo his high review, because originally he was very negative.
Yeah.
Style. And, yeah, I like the fact that he offsets the whole costume. That and he talks about weird PlayStation games or horror games.
I really want to try that game that he was talking about where it's like you playing as an alien trying to prank people.
What game is that?
Human?
I can't remember what it was, but I think it might have been last year's April Fool's that he reviewed that one. Because there's one stage where it's set in Raccoon City, and so you know the whole premise of the game is you're an alien, get sent to Earth, and you're trying to pull off the biggest prank, and you can like take over people's bodies to try and, or at least like turn into them to try and pull off those pranks. And of course, yeah. And in Raccoon City, of course, there's zombies everywhere, and you get chased by the Tyrant or Nemesis, whichever one it is.
I just wanted to talk about more of the Lisa games. Like, you know, there's still a lot
Not
of
too. See, that's the thing. I guess this is just me, but I'm not too interested in that stuff.
Well, you don't like those RPG Maker horror games?
Not really, no.
Fair enough.
And then we got Billiam. Billiam's also fun.
Yeah, like, Billiam I love just because of all the times, like, he'll put something out there that I'm like, Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Every time I look in, it's like, whoa. Big nostalgia.
And it's also because it's like he so satisfies my inner 10-year-old who said, I want that, but I don't have disposable income.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, I remember the talkback thing. I used to want that so bad. Where you'd record a message and then you could distort the voice.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Cat Bad.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but yeah.
I think that was like the cheaper version, but it's a lot more famous because, you know, Yak Bad rings better than time.
I remember thinking the Cube World was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I remember, I think I had a teacher who had one of those, or one or two of those.
And the spy gear stuff.
Yeah, barcode scanner battler.
Oh, it's spy gear, but yeah.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
throwing out stuff. Your stuff is pretty cool. And I'm also remembering a lot of those toys that were based on anime that was based on toys. Really dumb. Battle Beat-em-on, which is just basically a marble launcher. And
Are there...
back in 2020, they released an anime that was a bottle top launcher. Like, imagine a rip-off of Battle Beat-em-on. Just
Might have been one of those things where they figure marbles are an evergreen thing.
Yeah.
No, this is bottle cap. Like, as in,
Ah.
drink cola, you take the plastic bottle cap and you put it in the launcher and you shoot it. That's the anime.
Damn. Oh,
Everyone's name is based off of the drink. Like, this guy's name is Coda, as in, like, Coca-Cola.
now I'm also being reminded of, you know, toys that didn't work out. Stuff like the various spin-offs of Yu-Gi-Oh! That didn't go anywhere.
Like Dungeon Dice.
Oh, there was. I mean, okay, it was kind of like inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh, but there was like this actually cool thing. God, I can't remember the actual name of it, but like there was an anime. I think it was anime, but it's basically like, you know, a group of kids get isekai'd into this other world where their card game is now real, and like they have to actually like travel into like the subdomains of this world to scan the creatures and that, so that way they can battle as them.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos.
Yeah, chaotics, that's it, yeah.
I immediately remembered that.
Oh yeah, that was like a Flash animated thing for like a few seasons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember because of that. It was like, right? It was on the same blocks as the Winx Club. I remember that.
I mean, it was a cool premise, like, I imagine that, like, that would be an awesome sort of video game where, you know, you have to actually, like, explore these kind of, like, because it has that Pokemon style feel to it, but then it has the card collecting aspect, and the combat was, like, meant to be action-based, so it's like, a lot of potential. And yeah, I believe Billiam also did a review of it.
Sweet Tanuki suit.
Honestly, the whole Bottle Man anime just makes me think of the meme of, Mom, I want to watch Beyblade. We have Beyblade at home. Beyblade at home.
Yeah.
I love that meme.
Ooh, hidden door.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I remember this portion.
I think this is where you get to do the wrong warp.
You're wrong.
No, I mean...
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was...
He was having a go at you.
I see. Well, yeah, in that case, you're a towel! Also from Rugrats, that's an insane proposition! You're an insane proposition!
Yeah.
I just love that line. Doing some of the best lines. Why are you making chocolate pudding at 4 a.m.? Because I lost control of my life.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel bad. The voice actor for him died years ago.
Apparently there's a remake coming out. I think I've mentioned this.
And I'm just like, no.
Like, Rugrats is such a time capsule of that era. It's hard to imagine that being, like, remade in good spirit.
Plus,
I could see.
Show as an adult, as much as I like it, those parents are horrible.
That's the thing. The way a remake would have to work is it would have to be remade in a similar sort of idea, in that it's sort of like it has to focus on that sort of time period and what parenting is like in this time period.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
With the time period of the 90s, it was... Okay, they're still neglectful, but it's not as bad.
I mean, I guess it's like the point then is you would have the idea of, like, how do you keep that spirit of, like, it being, like, Rugrats in the 2020s without leaning too much into the nostalgia of the original cartoon?
Yeah.
It's almost kind of a thing where it's like, sometimes if you want to really take advantage of that kind of premise, it almost feels like you should just make something different.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying they couldn't do something new and interesting within, like, the format of the Rugrats, but it's like, yeah.
I don't think it works as well.
Because you've also got to consider the fact that they did try to do sort of like the Rugrats aged up, you know, all grown up.
I remember one distinct thing from that. That episode where they parodied Yu-Gi-Oh! And they called it You Gotta Go. And they had a literal card shark whose hair was styled like a shark fin. Like, that's literally how they introduced him. He's like, you see a shark fin in a crowd, and then he jumps into view.
Yeah, that's legit for a Yu-Gi-Oh! for an anime.
Yeah.
Cliche.
But the fact they had the card, You Gotta Go, and I'm just... Everything about that would have been fine, except for that goddamn name.
And it's like, that's, well, the writers really took 10 seconds to come up with that.
Exactly. Although I remember Hi Puppy Amiyumi did a parody of that as well. They were fighting over a nerve. Like, literally... Okay, it wasn't even a hottie, it was like a stereotypical nerd. Why were they fighting over him?
If I recall from All Grown Up, didn't they like make Dill sort of like he was like a complete oddball, like just... It was
Kind of clear there was jokes that I remember they actually made jokes where he was dropped on his head as a kid. And I'm like, Tommy definitely gets his DNAs from Drew's side of the family. Dill from Stews.
Didn't Tommy try to be an inventor or something like that?
No. Dill was more of
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of clear that Dill took after Stu in Centric Season all.
But as much as, like, that was a part of the childhood, like, one thing I will still never, ever get used to, the Class B Cuspo bloody art style. It is horrendous.
It's definitely one of those that's like, it's an acquired taste, and I'm with you on that one.
It definitely fit Nickelodeon, though, that kind of almost a grotesque look.
Yeah. Now, one show I will never understand why it still has a fan base, Rocket Power. The only thing good about that show, there's only two things to it. Open, the actual intro, and Tito. Those are the only two good things about that show.
All I remember is I only ever, like, watched one episode of Rocket Power, and I was like, yeah, no.
I always liked Tito because of his ancient Hawaiian saying. Ancient Hawaiians say, never drink from a coconut that you found in the dark. That's incredibly dirty.
That is a trait, like, almost like a... I wouldn't say if it was an era thing, but, like, I just remember a lot of shows from my childhood where there was always, like, the wise sort of, like, mentor, like, character, like, of course, looking at frickin' Jackie Chan Adventures!
One more thing.
Yeah, one more thing!
God, Uncle was awesome.
And of course, American Dragon with his grandfather. And of course, Foo Dog. I mean, come on, Foo Dog's bloody frickin' bloody. Foo Dog is Jake.
Well,
He's uncensored Jake.
Yeah. And remember Juniper Lee, which basically was an entire ripoff of American Dragon Jake Long?
I'm sure if it's a ripoff, like, they came out around the same time, like, I don't think...
Quite literally the same time. And it was the same
Yeah.
premise, too.
Yeah.
Teenager, middle school, high schooler guy going into, dealing with the secret world of mythical creatures. Annoying, kid character sidekick.
It's because they were both based on the idea of the Harry Potter craze.
Exactly.
Alright, yeah, that was like everywhere.
Yeah.
Better. Well, that other art style, but the writing got better.
Dragon. I'm not even gonna do the full song.
Look, Grandpa, the master. God, I love this guy. I really love the catchy song. Dave the Barbarian, though. It only got like half a season, actually. It didn't even get a full one season. It was half a season.
Kind of a weird concept when you think about it.
Yeah.
How about Static Shock? You remember that one?
I think I saw an episode, and I didn't learn until years later that it's actually a DC character.
Yeah, in fact, in later seasons, he actually teamed up with other DC superheroes. Like, he fought the Joker with Batman and Robin.
Yeah, and I think it's the same with Blue Beetle.
Yeah, he did. In the comics, at the very Kame Raymond.
I vaguely remember catching a few episodes of Static Shock, but I never really followed it seriously.
I remember it was one of the first early shows that actually dealt with, well, actual black community problems at the time. You know, gang fighting, homelessness, stuff. Stuff that was a lot more common than that. They actually dealt with it with a pretty well done hand. All things considered. Like, okay, it wasn't exactly perfect, but it did it better than Captain Planet ever could.
I still think that Captain Planet, if it was remade, it would be good if they, like, Captain Planet needs, if there was ever a remake, it would need to sort of try to not be so preachy, sort of.
Oh, definitely, I'm with you on that one. I mean, let's face it, they have the power of the elements, they're fighting eco-terrorists. You could definitely do a good job of that without being completely...
Because, like, it is a thing of, like... Yeah, it's one of those things where you want to say, like, obviously, yes, you want to say, yes, pollution's bad, but maybe you get into things of, well, yes, here's why people pollute, and it's not because they're cartoons, it's because there's economic reasons.
Or
Asshole-ish economic reasons, but still.
Or just
Yeah.
ignorant.
I would also...
If they ever do remake it, I hope they also remake that episode where they fight Hitler.
Let's just say, if I was like the one behind like the decisions of like a remake of Captain Planet, first I would actually put the power into the actual Planeteers more, because they always felt like they were just these side characters that you didn't care about until the main bloody event.
Exactly. The only person I really cared about was Monty. And that's just because everybody rips on him because, oh, he has the worst power, heart. Mind reading, animal control, well, empathetic power. It's a good power. I mean, hell, if you really want to get down to it, Wheeler actually has the worst power, which is basically just a flamethrower.
If there was a remake, I wouldn't even call it Captain Planet. You'd call it the Planeteers, and you'd make them each individual superheroes with a more robust set of powers. You could still have Captain Planet as like a
They need him for the big bad issue. Or something
The-
they really
yeah.
Emergency when they don't have... You know what? I realized what a Captain Planet remake would need to be is Power Rangers with environmentalism.
Yep.
Which I know there was actually a season about that, but like one that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
That was Wild Force.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I should also point out that the whole reason why the Power Rangers don't just, summon the Megazord right from the get-go is, actually, early on in the season, they were told never to escalate a fight unless they have to.
There is. I was actually reading about that recently. It's the same idea with cops, where they have to meet their threat with a proper level of
Force.
response.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
your responsibility, yeah. Which is like, that's a nice way to think about approaching things, is that, yeah, you don't be the person who takes things too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so going with this idea of like the Captain Planet, like here's what I'll do with Captain Planet. Like he would essentially be Megazord, but the interesting way you could do it is each and every single one of the Planeteers can become Captain Planet. They become their own version of Captain Planet.
The
So
Avatar
that-
stick, basically.
Basically, yeah.
You know what?
So-
One thing you could also do, maybe incorporate, every time they change this Captain Planet, they're incorporating the power of a god. Like the one, you know, with the power of Mother Earth, I become Terra. You know, so like, you know, Terra, or for Gi, she become Poseidon. You know, they incorporate that power, the power of a god based on the elements.
I feel like you tick off some parents with that, but it's
See,
an
that's the
interesting
thing.
idea.
Like the way I would do it is, you don't want it to be portrayed in the fact that, oh, you need a higher power to help you look after the planet. That's why the power should be in the Planeteers.
Yeah, that's fair. That's actually fair. Will we still have Rosie O'Donnell? No, Gaia, who calls us silly humans. Like, oh, you know, that Catapult was, I believe, designed after Tom Hanks because they originally wanted him to voice him, but they couldn't.
It is funny though that like some shows get like remade every freaking like almost 5 years, and then some shows haven't seen the light of a remake ever. Like how many adaptations of Ninja Turtles are there?
Too many.
Several.
You know what? How about Scooby-Doo? Holy shit.
Yeah. Been going strong since the 60s.
Hey, here's a question. Well, okay. So, Scooby says ruh-oh, Shaggy says zoinks.
Yeah,
Velma
we...
says beep, beep, and
Yes,
Jesse-
we've seen the video.
What does Fred say?
Yes, you have shown that video off
I
quite a
know.
few times.
So, actually, what he does say is, let's split up, gang.
Yeah.
So it is funnier to imagine him saying, fuck! Which, I am happy that is now a meme.
Apparently people tried to bring back Ultra Instinct Shaggy memes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
Like, I forgot that. God, it's one of those things. God, the Ultra Instinct Shaggy memes were like from 2 years ago. It felt like it was much closer since then. I'm like, oh god.
Right?
Gee, I think it's close to 3 years at this point. What, 2018?
God.
A fine vintage for memes.
And like Rage comic memes are apparently coming back.
How
Really?
the hell were they getting?
Why?
God, Rage comic memes are so old, it's the equivalent of Stonehenge.
Yeah. I've just...
The Ultra Instinct is like the equivalent of the 90s. Yeah, Rage Comics is Stonehenge.
Stonehenge. I think you're confusing two things there. Stone Age is what you're probably thinking of, but you...
You know, never mind. I'm getting tired, I'm sorry. You know that they actually made a kids show of Warhammer 40k?
Really?
Surprise me.
One of the most brutal universes, one of the dark... The thing that basically coined the term grimdark. They made a kids show out of it.
I mean, then again, we have also had kid shows based on like RoboCop and Rambo
Yeah.
And we tried to do one for Aliens, but that didn't turn out. We did get the toys, though.
There's one based on Starship Troopers called Roughnecks.
There's also one based on, it was like that Toxin Crusader.
Frickin' Trauma?
Whenever I think about like 80s and 90s bloody cartoons, and I have to blame Jim Sterling for this, even though I haven't watched his shit in quite a while, but the Skeleton Warriors.
Are they those cavemen who basically ride dinosaurs are skeletons?
No, they're actually skeletons that are warriors, as the name implies.
I'm thinking of the cavemen of the Bone Age. Which, by the way, imagine trying to ride on the back of a skeletal stegosaurus. Your coccyx would be cracked to hell and back!
The 90s cartoons were fucking weird.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see the finale of DuckTales? Please tell me you did.
Haven't.
They reference gargoyles! Well, I think they actually reference about every Disney afternoon show.
Yeah, but did they reference DuckTales? Checkmate!
They did.
The entire episode was a reference.
No. I mean it. Like, remember that episode where... Remember that time when Uncle Scrooge got stuck into a universe that was basically the original DuckTales and he was screaming, a sea monster ate my ice cream? That actually happened! He actually did do that in the original DuckTales. So yes, they did reference the original DuckTales. Checkmate!
Touché.
Yes. I think the only thing they could reference was Aladdin. But I think everything else they were able to reference.
You know, I guess you could almost say that the reference to Aladdin was the episode with the genie.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a very different genie, but...
But it was a reference to the movie, which was impressive. I mean, the fact that they were able to reference all that shit, like hell, they were able to reference the Rescue Rangers even though originally they couldn't.
Yeah, they got around it through very cheeky, like they didn't actually ever mention any names or...
It's just like, okay, we're gonna put superpowered rodents in there and they happen to draw the Rescue Rangers and they're like, well, we either have to delay the episode and, fucking go ahead.
It just makes no sense. Like Disney is so like, why would they not allow like is Rescue Rangers?
I don't know what goes through their heads sometimes.
Like, is Rescue Rangers a full-on Disney property, or did they, like, license that?
I don't know anymore.
Same thing. It's like there are some clear rules where it's like they weren't allowed to actually have Mickey Mouse in DuckTales because that's like, oh, Mickey Mouse does not belong in the DuckTales verse. Yet they still got around it by having Donald with a imaginary friend on an island that just happened to sound like Mickey Mouse.
It was a parody of Wilson.
Yeah.
Disney is so weird.
I know, it's weird. They reference just about everything else. They reference Goof Troop, Gargoyles. They had a Bonkers reference. Freaking Bonkers. Obviously, Darkwing Duck, the Gummy Bears, Quack Pack, with the title of that one episode with the genie. Yeah, they call it the Quack Pack, so they reference that. The Mighty Ducks, which is actually the sports team of the city. So you got the Mighty Ducks as both the cartoon and the movie of the city. They reference a Goofy movie because they were singing, the Powerline song. And of course, there's the Three Caballeros.
I just love how wholesome Goofy was. They're like, but wait, Goofy, what are you like doing here? Aren't you like part of the Wish? And he's like, well, the power of what was it? Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Goofy would totally do that. Goof Troop Goofy is pretty chill, let's face it.
I was actually watching a video recently that actually shows that a Goofy movie is a musical, and Goofy is the villain.
What?
Yeah, a Goofy movie is straight up A to Z a musical. It is written like a musical. And
I don't know. I get that, but how is Goofy the villain?
well, I should say he's the antagonist. He is the one that is
He's in the way of
basically-
Max's goal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I mean, when you're a kid, you side with Max. When you're an adult, you side with Goofy.
Side with Bo.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Goofy killed a mime.
Yeah.
You better kill the guy.
So you also get the rare there's a love ballad, which is of course a love ballad between Goofy and Max, and it's like whenever you think of a love ballad in a musical, it's always the protagonist and the love interest, but in this one it's a father and a son, so it's also
Yeah. On a car going down. Honestly, that movie has aged so well. It is just the night. Everything's great about the night. And the fact that the message, they actually don't make Max or Goofy out as the total bad guy. Because you actually can empathize with both sides.
the movie is basically about like, you know, it's coming to a compromise.
It's a family movie. Like a legit family movie about
A
family.
family picture!
We're not even memeing on it. It's
Yeah.
And it's a movie I come back to every once in a while because, God, I love. I just, there's so much about it I love. Let's see, Bigfoot, the perfect cast, that weird stuff that was going on when they were on the open road singing, and there's like a corpse, girls in a piano, there was a guy tied up in a trunk. There's some weird shit going on that highway. We never do find out whatever happened to Peg and Pistol. Most people like to say that she divorced from Pete. I would agree.
Pete's an asshole.
Oh, definitely. But he's an entertaining one. Honestly, when I watch Goof Troop, I watch him. I want to see what crazy shenanigans he gets into and how they backfire.
I mean, he's probably not as much. He's probably a lesser asshole in Goof Troop than he is in like the freaking the Mickey Christmas Carol.
Oh. Now, I remember.
I know Christmas Carol, just the Mickey Christmas movie. That's right. Yeah.
Well, it was those Christmas stories, and yeah, he
Yeah.
was in the third one, and boy was he asshole. Well, I mean, let's face it, Pete has always been a jerk. Though I usually put him on the level of Bluto levels. And usually a lot of he gets karma. Usually beaten because of both Mickey's cleverness and, you know, the universe being like, okay, you had your fun. Also, I have an important question about this, the castle's design. There's lava on the ceiling, right? How the hell is Bowser doing that?
magic.
God, could you imagine? It's like being in a convection oven. No wonder there's ghosts in here. It's the ghosts of the Koopas who had guard duty.
Maybe it's meant to be one long cooking oven.
Could you imagine the souffle? I gotta remember to play Kingdom Hearts 3.
Surprised that like this is. I think Nintendo could probably get away with like doing almost like a remake, remaster kind of thing of the original like All-Stars. Maybe you have 1, 2, 3, and World, where it's like, you know, HD sort of maybe it doesn't have to be 3D, but like, you know, HD sprite art and whatnot.
Yeah, that would
Like
be
they,
neat.
I mean, they did it for the advanced version, but yeah.
Those are more ports of the advanced ones. Those ones are really good.
Yeah. Like, I'm glad that at least they have the advanced versions alive on, like, Wii U and stuff, but it would be cool if they let, you know, people play that on, you know, platforms that were actually purchased. I know I made sure to, I got the advanced version of Mario 3 because there's like all the extra levels, the e-reader stuff that they included specifically into like the Virtual Console version.
Glad they did.
Yeah, like, that's... I really do hope that they open up, like, a Nintendo Switch Online version of stuff for, like, Game Boy Advance and all that. It's like, yeah, they were smaller ones, but they were still good games. And some of them, like, had exclusive content.
It's like, I know for some people, they like, yeah, there were some people that were kind of caught off guard by Pauline's sudden reintroduction in Odyssey, but it's like, for people that have been playing the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games, like, yeah, she's actually like one of the main characters in that series.
It's like, yeah, she
And
hasn't been completely gone since the first DK.
And I just love the fact that they gave, like, her redesign is cool, because, like, frickin', you don't really, I guess, like, pretty much every of the major Nintendo girls, it's like you have, what, 4 princesses, and only one of the other major Nintendo girls is, of course, frickin' badass, who, for the most part, you won't even recognize as a girl because of her armor unless you see her in the Zero suit.
Yeah, what's that?
So the fact that, like, Pauline, she's stylish and yet she still has, like, that strong, independent kind of woman look to her. I mean, she is a... Yeah.
Like, she has the look of someone who could be the mayor of the city.
Yeah. The only thing I hate about that, though, is just, like, the awkward case where it's like you have this city full of normal-looking people, and then you have Mario. And, like, okay, maybe it's like Mario is like a Mushroom Kingdom human, so they've kind of got a more...
They make him more stout there. It's...
You know what I just remembered now, thinking back to stuff from the 90s? Anybody remember Sock 'em Boppers?
What?
Sock 'em Boppers. You know, Sock 'em Boppers, it's more fun than pillow fights. They're basically inflatable big-ass boxing gloves. You can basically flail on people.
The tune is vaguely familiar, but I don't even have a visual to that.
God.
Yeah.
That was something I always wanted. Because, hey, an excuse to beat up my sister. Because, hey, I can just pass her or them and be like, alright, let's fight. God, I was so like an asshole. Just an excuse to beat up my sister. Oh, terrible.
I'm gonna head off and get lunch.
Alright.
And it is starting to get pretty late. Like, holy shit, you've been at this for 2 hours. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I'll probably,
Oh my god, it's a Bird King.
yeah. I'll probably finish up this world and, call it good.
Bird King.
I might as well stick around for...
Yeah, might as well.
Haha, you've fallen into my trap!
I'm kind of excited to see what they're gonna do for the opening ceremony for the Olympics. Like, I do wonder if they're gonna get Nintendo to. 'Cause I think when they announced that it was for Japan, they had like image of Mario or something like that as well.
I mean, Nintendo is a cultural icon, so...
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Makes me wonder what happened if Nintendo never did the video games. They just stuck with toys.
I still love the reason why they went into it. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I mean, I can see them still being successful, but, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's because was it Gunpei? Is that how you?
Gunpei Yokoi, yeah, whatever it's...
Yeah. Because the reason he made the Game & Watch was because he saw a businessman just sort of playing around with his digital watch. And he's like, I can turn that into a game.
My god.
And it made $1 million. Or I guess more than $1 million, but you get the point.
No, I mean saying $1 million is technically the truth.
Yeah.
Definitely in. And don't forget, that was like 80s million.
Alright, save the king. Still small.
What's funny is that with his beard, it kind of looks like legs.
Kind of. Alright.
But
Also, is the letter talking to you? Because her lips were talking, so is it a magic letter?
So, I mean, yeah, probably. But going with that joke where it's like, instead of jealous of Tall, you have little Mario standing next to Peach. Attracted to Tall.
Tall half cake.
Another good stream, and well, glad we could help make your birthday a little more awesome.
Yeah.
It's your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy fucking birthday!
Yay, thank you.
Now, I would sing the happy birthday song, but if you can believe it, it's actually copyrighted. No, I'm not even joking.
I know.
That is infamously known. Well, I guess it's been an hour since my birthday ended, at least in this time zone, but still. Yes. Thank you, dudes, for being here. And
No worries.
gonna close that out.